as I said, I wouldn't normally do this, but I got permission from both my mother and my best friend to use them as my guinea pigs. So, and looking at case study number 1, that's my mom. And her Ayurvedic age is Vata. She's 64. Her VPK was Vata 2, Pitta 1, Kapha 3. And I'll get into the rest of it later. Her health background, which I think is important, is she's had 3 kidney transplants. She's had 1 heart valve replacement. She has some stomach ulcers and anemia. And she also has, which I don't have on here, is like some generalized sort of aches and pains and fibromyalgia. And she had total kidney failure at 30. So she's been on 30 plus years of immunosuppressants, steroids, and any variety of other things. And as far as her Agni goes, it is it's a little bit of Mandagni and Vishagni. She has 1 or less BPM daily, but her appetite is irregular. She has gas, she has caution. So to me, that most reflects Vata. And then as far as the subdoshas, the anemia, I thought would be Ranjaka Pitta. The kind of the hyperacidity in her stomach, which has caused irritation in this lining of her stomach, would be Pachaka. And then under the subdoshas Vata, she basically has almost every single thing here. So the low energy, the lack of clarity, the fatigue, and the prana. I think she has anxiety and a little bit of a difficulty in terms of having consistent friendships. So that reflects to me Vyana. Digestive issues, she feels heavy after she eats. Seems to take a long time for her to digest food, so Samana. She has both high and low Udana, just from observation. She sometimes talks a lot and sometimes not at all. And then Apana, the constipation, the dryness, the gas. She no longer has her periods. And then under subdoshas Kapha, even some of these, I think she's so Vata that it's sort of thrown everything off. So lack of appetite. No, it's mostly the dryness in the mouth, which is Kladaka, along with Avalabaka. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing these. And Kladaka and Bodaka would be the dryness in her mouth, which she definitely has. And the Avalambaka would be, I thought perhaps the issues with the heart valve replacement. She doesn't have heart congestion. She actually had to have a valve replaced. So that leads me to, under her symptoms, she has both prana and ojas, low energy, low immunity. So I think that in terms of her Vikriti, her Vata has really gone up. I don't know if there is such a thing as 5. If there's not 5, she's a Vata 4 at least. And Kapha 4, I think all of them have gone up. I think the Vata has thrown sort of everything off. And the major issues she was concerned about were on the bottom of the page, her low energy and compromised immunity. Number 2, the kidney disease. Number 4, the stomach ulcers. And I sort of added on there the fibromyalgia and general aches. And I think that now I can do the visual presentation. Aggravating factors are, which are very clear in terms of her lifestyle. So if you look at the front page, that's my lovely mother. She's so cute. But the X factors, there she is. Isn't she cute? She's actually naturally a Kapha, like I said, but her Vata has gone up as well as everything else. And I just thought it was kind of cute to include a picture because you can see that her features are generous, kind of glowing eyes, large lips, large nose, all of those things. In terms of the aggravating issues, she goes to bed and occasionally gets up late. So to bed at about 11, 12, up at about 9 or 10. So I don't think that she's taking advantage of just the energies of the day, that fantastic energy that takes place at 6 a.m. So she kind of wakes up and then needs immediately to drink coffee, which she then follows up with 4 black iced teas, which from a fast food restaurant. And it has artificial coloring and flavors and ice water that hampers her agni and causes dehydration, exacerbating her vata. And she also, in the morning, she will have a coffee, a chocolate donut, really not eat lunch, maybe snack on some cheese and crackers, and then a very healthy dinner with organic and local, and eats very well for dinner, but sort of skips lunch entirely. So she doesn't eat enough for the first half of the day, causing the agni to burn the interior walls of her stomach, which I think is exacerbating the stomach ulcers. So under lifestyle recommendations, I have a lot. Go to bed earlier and get up earlier. Eat lots of warm, nourishing foods, especially in Minnesota when it's freezing. Use small amounts of gentle spices that won't aggravate her stomach, like cinnamon, ginger, even a little bit of turmeric for the joint issues and fibromyalgia. I think the Abhyanga massage with warmed sesame oil or bala would be beneficial, as would nausea and gargling to reduce the dryness in her mouth and her throat, and a little foot massage before bed just to calm her central nervous system. I basically said any kind of massage with warmed sesame oil or bala oil to lubricate so dry. Brush with natural toothpaste and scrape her tongue first thing upon rising. She has a very coated tongue, which I think is a lot from the prescription medication. So, yeah, she has and with that, she should also be taking Trica So, and then we can go on to the next one. To reduce her sugar cravings, her donut in the morning, have a whole grain organic piece of cinnamon toast made with ghee, or have a baked apple or pear sprinkled with maple syrup and maybe cinnamon. Before letting herself have the morning coffee, I requested that she drink a little warm water with lemon and raw honey. Eat 3 meals a day at regular times, and alternatively graze to prevent excess agni and stomach acids from building up. She avoids eating, I believe, in the first part of the day and immediately hits with sugar and caffeine because she's so low energy and doesn't feel like she'll be anything done over the course of the day if she doesn't do that. So she may be somebody who might need to graze a little bit and replace some of her naughty foods with healthier versions. Drink almost exclusively room temperature water. This iced tea, I think, is a major causative factor. And then rest a lot. Avoid being overly stressed and going too many places, which is very vata. Take nice warm baths with eucalyptus and salts to cleanse the bad energy and relieve fibroachiness. And then I put some and yoga. Just, she's extremely frail, so she can't do regular yoga. Just asana she can hold. But I thought to increase her energy at the beginning of the day rather than the coffee and the donut and all that, I could try doing the fire beginning and midday. We can specific dietary notes. I, of course, said lots of ghee, lots of raw honey, eating local and organic. I have a fantastic Ayurvedic cookbook that I'm going to print out some recipes for her that are right for her vata and increased vata and pitta. She could soak her raisins overnight and drink the water to regulate her digestion. Make simple meals that will ensure that she'll actually eat breakfast or lunch. And generally to eat a vata pacifying diet. And milk bothers her stomach, so perhaps a little yogurt instead. And subtle spices like turmeric, ginger, gamasio for the saltiness without actually using salt. Some meat that's well too sensitive to red meat. He doesn't eat a lot of red meat anyhow. Some kale, a little cheese, a mild veggies for that sweetness. And then to drink a warm coconut or almond milk, she's not able to digest milk very well either. With almonds, a little ghee and honey and nutmeg, maybe she'll go to bed early, and replace it maybe with a caffeine-free organic peach tea that's warm or even room temperature, and one chai a day with cinnamon stick. And then I recommended some herbs, ashwagandha, turmeric for joint pain. Has her period, so you could do some things like the moon gazing or wearing the pearls, yam, dates, mung bean are great phytonutrients just to get her a little bit more in touch with the power of her side. And and then guys, I included like almost everything we've learned. So aromatherapy, I included some aromatherapy for her, as well as some stones. So lavender, bergamot, and sweet orange for calming and grounding. Of ylang winter blue buddy in Minnesota. And then stones for grounding. And I think that also, I'm sorry, I don't think I mentioned this, but beets for the anemia was another thing that I recommended.
Thank you very much. Wow, that was amazing. Wow. I mean, I think one thing, if we are going to give such a beautiful presentation, people will want to follow it, right? Yeah, no, that was amazing. One thing I really just want to quickly, I have basically almost nothing to add because you just covered all the bases, except you mentioned, and it's obvious because she's got a lot of vata. Seaweed you would think is normal, but because of her kidney disease, I would not really give seaweed. I don't know how she's going to process the salt. That's number one. Number two, you mentioned beets. Just remember, any vegetable that's high in oxalates is not good for the kidney. So anything like cabbage or broccoli or bok choy or any cruciferous vegetable, they have oxalates, which actually blocks the mutravaha shrota's urinary tract. Also, doesn't help the kidney. Yeah, so absolutely, try and avoid these things. Kale, I would also say would be, but if it's cooked and in small amounts, then it would be okay because when you cook these oxalates, then so you had a very difficult case study, the kind of stuff we do in block 2 and block 3, but even then, whatever you knew, you went way above and beyond. Second thing, she's on immunosuppressants and she's on steroids for a long time. So what happens is that naturally it reduces the immunity. Plus she has aches and pains and she has fibromyalgia. So and also she doesn't want to eat in the morning because the drugs are doing a lot of things. So I would give her herbs that naturally help her liver because of the stuff that she's on. Uh, Dark green leafy vegetables, something bitter, something sweet. So I would give her amalaki jam. or Chyawanprash, just to give her a little bit more energy because there's so much protocol. Amalaki jam or Chyawanprash is everything. It'll give her a little bit more energy, and she would not want to have. If you give her something like Chyawanprash or Amalaki jam, she would not want to go and take the sugar because she's having the sugar craving because she's low in energy. And if she's taking it, it'll help her fibromyalgia. It'll increase her immunity. It'll help with the effect of the immunosuppressants. I'm just happy at least she doesn't have any infections. I have another patient who is on immunosuppressants, and he keeps on getting an infection every single month. And he's so sick of taking antibiotics. So we did put him on neem, and I would be so careful about putting your mother on neem, but maybe neem with a little bit of ghee would be okay, just a small amount. Um, so yeah, the seaweed, and you also want to make sure the beets are well cooked. I would rather give her dates and figs and not give her beets because and also you said vinegar. Absolutely no vinegar. No, she gets acid reflux. But yeah, we definitely one of the herbs that would be excellent for Chyawanprash would help. So any dark green bitter leafy vegetable has an affinity for the liver. So neem would help that. Guduchi, and for the kidney, gokshura. And I loved all the massages and everything that you mentioned. That's really going to help her. But yeah, she seems like a happy person, and she obviously deals with this. And you kind of hit the nail right on the head. It's that black tea and iced coffee. And I was so happy you knew why she was eating all that sugar. So that's great. Thank you. I think we have pretty much done everybody except Kimberly. Just one more left. Kimberly, it's all yours. Can you see this?
Okay. Everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I know this is probably the least elaborate, but I'll just go through it kind of quickly here. My first case was female, 28 years old, in her pitta time of life. Her Prakriti is B1P3K1. She's a true pitta. She didn't have a lot going on with her, but her kapha is increasing, which is not surprising because she has picked up weight in her Prakriti. But the main thing that's going on with her is her pitta is just too high, and so she's suffering uh, her subdoshas are more. So her Rajaka, uh, the only complaint that she had was acne. Of course, there's more going on than that, but the acne was the subdosha of Rajapakita. Also, I noticed that in her completing of her Vikriti, that she had stiff joints, and I know that too much pitta, too much heat, drying out the joint lubrication. So we addressed that in the protocol. She also noticed yellow coating on the tongue, which I have a picture. And so that told me that there was definitely some ama that needed to be reduced or eliminated. And she also reported having urinary tract infection 2 times a year. And again, that's the high pitta. Heavy menstrual flow, just the first 2 days, with some cramping only on those 2 days. Everything else was regular. Her bowel movements, her agni was regular. She said every morning she had her bowel movement, and mostly after she ate, she had a movement. Depending if she ate something heavy, then she wouldn't. She might not have a bowel movement right away. Also reported that she had gas and flatulence after eating times, and that too I thought that might have something to do with what she's eating. She said the foods that would bother her are hot and spicy. I'm not surprised, because this was all brand new to her about her being a pitta. So that's an easy fix. She also complained of low energy sometimes during the day. And so my finding was that she definitely had a pitta imbalance. And so I put her on a pitta reducing diet, pitta pacifying diet with cooling foods, and recommended water with lemon or cucumber to do 2 things. One, to help cleanse the ama, and definitely to cool her down. And massaging with the coconut oil. Actually, I did recommend the brushing and the oiling, but with coconut oil. And also cook and with coconut oil, as opposed to some of the other fats that she was cooking with. Herbs I recommended triphala and turmeric, neem, and ghee. And that was for the triphala was to help to cleanse the toxins. The turmeric and the neem was for her skin and just to help balance the pitta, and the ghee also to take those nutrients into her tissues. I probably did a lot more, but I didn't prepare to present, and so
No, this is
anyone
great.
have any questions?
I think this is great. We have finally a case study which is a high pitta imbalance, because everybody had a challenging case studies with either pitta, kapha, vata, 2 or 3 doshas. But this one, pitta has gone in the rasa dhatu. So when someone has chronic adult acne and also she has a heavy menstrual flow, and so I would say her pitta is left, and also she has the yellow coating. So I would say she's probably has a high digestive enzymatic activity. She probably, of course, I can't say has more bile. And so the pitta is increased. Imagine if that excess bile and excess enzymes seep into the blood, seep into the plasma. And what are they going to do? They seep into the rasa dhatu. So her rasa dhatu has dried out, and it's heated up. Because of the presence. So adult acne, I would just say her pitta has moved from her place and moved to the rasa dhatu. Now we do not want it to move to the rakta dhatu, because if it moves to the blood and the rakta dhatu, if it hasn't already, then she's going to have bleeding issues from different orifices of the body. Already she's having a heavy menstrual flow. She already has the semi-annual UDI. So, this might increase, and, she might get nosebleed, and so we know that it's in the rasa dhatu. And the good news is, as you probably already know, Rich has told you, that no, I would not give her trikatu, Farah. Why do you think? Her pitta is so high, trikatu is extremely heating. The yellow coating on tongue is a pitta kind of ama. So let me tell you, no. When someone has white coating, that means kapha, excess saliva, excess that is the reason for the ama. This is excess bile and excess digestive enzymes in her body that have dried up, causing the yellow coating. So you want to give everything cooling. So all of the stuff that Kimberly that you did, except for the lemon, I'm not so sure, but I know why you did it, because you wanted to move things with the samana. Pitta reducing diet, absolutely. Cooling foods, uh, water with cucumber I'll take, but I won't take the lemon. Coconut oil internally, externally I'll take. There's some things that I wrote here. Let me see so that I remembered. The best herb for increased pitta, best is amalaki. So amalaki with ghee, nothing, just amalaki tablets twice a day. Maybe 2,000 milligrams of amalaki with ghee every single day. And you can also give her guduchi for her liver. We definitely want to decrease her enzymes. You can order a saliva test. If you want to, but you can also do a saliva test in the morning. You can, I know we are kind of moving beyond, but yeah, so amalaki with ghee, guduchi, definitely neem with ghee, but amalaki she can do after meals also, as well as guduchi, and triphala at night and neem in the morning. And she has to eat meals at a certain time. It has to be a lot of bitter herbs and bitter. But I would think with the amalaki and guduchi, within a week or so, she will see. You will see the yellow
Oh,
coating will. Yeah, amalaki is the best herb for, but definitely guduchi because her liver is out of balance too. Has she got anything else? Of course, she's getting bothered by hot and spicy. Cannot let it go to the rakta dhatu, because
yeah.
otherwise her menstrual flow is going to get worse. Once it goes to mamsadhatu, she's going to get fibromyalgia issues,
Mm,
inflammation in her body, and aches and pains that are. And then she's going to go and try and have drugs for the pain, but it's actually the pitta that is traveling through the dhatus. So the
mm,
great news is you've given the
fine.
pitta reducing diet before it hits the rakta. So has she shown any improvement?
Yes, already. I mean, you just realizing that since the hot and spicy, now realizing, understanding why the hot and spicy foods bother her, it was an easy stop. And to
Excellent.
do cooling, yeah, she was really happy to know about this. She didn't know.
Okay. You might as well also give something like you giving something for the menstrual issues.
I didn't address
You could give
that.
pomegranate, you could give, estrogen increasing foods because you want to increase her kapha. When you increase her kapha, her pitta is going to go down.
Okay.
So a lot more water element. So rasadhatu is water element. So increase the water element in her body. Soups, ghee, good oils, definitely coconut oil. But of course, it has to be cold pressed.
Right.
I mean, I have my Indian clients and patients who go to the Indian store and buy that really bad quality coconut oil, which does nothing for you. So definitely. Anyone else has any questions here? So very quickly, we'll go to case study number 2. Okay, go on.
Okay, that one was a little more complex because she's also in the pitta stage of life. Um, she's she's a kapha with a pitta mind thinking. um, Kapha Prakriti, and that was hard to get out of her. She really wanted to be a pitta, but she's very heavy, overweight, and that's been one of her challenges. Um, and so I believe because of a lot of the emotional issues, her vata is up and has increased with her prakriti. Her pitta, she's got some pitta issues, and then her the kapha looks like it's down, but I believe that it is it's still a factor, but it's just not the pressing factor or primary factor. Um, she's borderline diabetic, and that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking that that's from the kapha imbalance that she's been dealing with for a long time. And the white coating on the tongue tells me, too, that her kapha is still up high. Even though it didn't come out in the Vicrity test. That was from the questions, the Vicrity questionnaire. In questioning about her agni, her stools are regular, medium, 2 to 3 times per day. She said every night after dinner she has bowel movement consistently, and then sometimes after meals. Also reported some gas and flatulence after eating. Now I was told that is normal. Some gas and flatulence is normal, so I wasn't sure to put that into a subdosha category. Oh my gosh. She's not bothered by hot and spicy foods. She's vegan, I'm sorry. Definitely a vata imbalance. That was just shown from the Vicrity test. And the protocol I gave her was I gave her vata pacifying, however, on a low-fat way, because her goal, she wants to lose weight. And that was why I started her on the Trickatu, was to get her tissues clear. The ashwagandha to help reducing the vata, and so that she can just focus on balancing that kapha and reducing her weight to address this diabetic issues. There's lots of things that are involved with that, and kind of presentations.
So, okay, can I say something?
Yes, please.
I've been writing this down. So the biggest thing here that, she has a white coating on the tongue and she's borderline diabetic. Definitely vata is out of balance, but kapha is more out of balance. So kapha, so you have to kind of deduce. So you said, if I reduce the vata, everything else will fall into place. That works. But because she's a little bit more complex, as you said, I would probably start off with taking care of the agni. Now, ashwagandha increases kapha. I'm not sure if you know that.
Ashwagandha increases kapha? No, I didn't realize that.
That's why it helps vata. So when you give ashwagandha to a person who has vata and kapha imbalance, it has to be given in such a way that it does not increase kapha. So we'll talk about that in a second, because this is a little bit more complicated. Now, this person is borderline diabetic and has ama. So if you have an Indian store there in Arizona, there's something called jambolana, or JAMUN, jamun. You can get jamun berries. You could get jamun juice. Very, very good. It has an affinity for pancreas and helps to scrape off the sugar molecules off the tissues. Second thing, bitter melon juice. It's like $6 in an Indian store, or you can get bitter melon powder, or she can eat bitter melon every single week, at least 3 times a week, if she knows how to cook it. And bitter melon is fantastic for diabetes support. Very, very bitter. Now, since I'm pregnant, and they said that, because I'm overweight as well, they said, you have, they get me tested for the gestational diabetes. This is my everyday. I take my jamun juice. I take my bitter melon juice. I'm not taking Chardonnay, but Chardonnay has an affinity for, again, sugar molecules. Cinnamon also has an affinity for calming vata and kapha and taking care of the sugar molecules. Bitter melon is one vegetable which has an affinity for the pancreas. So it will increase the sugar metabolism. So between the jamun, bitter melon, Chardonnay, cinnamon tea, whether it's with milk or it's in water or it's in coconut milk or whatever she's taking, that would be fine. So definitely taking a lot more cinnamon. And I would also give her neem. Now, neem does not have a direct effect on diabetes, but since she has a lot of kapha and so many issues going on, I would definitely give her that. It would, help her reduce weight as well. Once, if she doesn't want to do I would probably give Trikatu, but I'm just thinking whether I should, because she also has a vata imbalance. Instead of Trikatu, just starting it off with, black pepper and ginger tea. And Triphala is fantastic. Vata kapha pacifying diet. absolutely great. Vata and Kapha both, which is a little
Yeah, right.
hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know, but I gave her like recipes that were low fat, but unctuous. Well, not unctuous, but
Yeah.
liquid, um, and kind of warming
Yeah.
ingredients.
No, no, that's perfect. Now, since she is bothered by hot and spicy food, I would give her warming spices, but not hot spices. So I would
Right.
definitely
Okay.
give her cinnamon. But if she's kapha, then she should not be bothered by hot and spicy food when she's normal.
She's not.
So,
That shouldn't be. I don't know how they got in there. I was using the same form and writing over it.
oh,
I missed that. Yeah,
okay,
that should
all
be.
right. I would also probably either lassi or some kind of liquid probiotic with every meal so that she wouldn't have gas and flatulence. I would
Okay.
also give her hingavashtak churnam with
What was
or
that one? The last one?
asafoetida, the hingavashtak churnam. If you got the October
Oh,
13th workshop,
asafoetida.
asafoetida churnam, yes, the
Okay.
churna,
Okay.
but it should be in between the meals. And after she's had her meal, she should have at least 2 to 3 ounces of lassi or any kind of probiotic drink because she needs obviously needs a bit more probiotic. Definitely needs more good fats. And like I said, I get it. She has low energy, and I totally get it because she is Triphala is fine. But ashwagandha, I would not want to start her off with ashwagandha. Maybe you want to start her off with just balancing the agni and lighter foods, but grounding kind of the diet. And as the white coating on her tongue reduces, then add the ashwagandha. So for energy, I would probably not focus on that right now, but I could probably want to start her off with Brahmi, just so that her mind is at a place where she can, do this. Even though Brahmi is not at all related with this, but it does help calm the mind. Yeah, drink lassi is the probiotic.
Okay.
I would always do a probiotic in a liquid form rather than take the probiotic pill. So lassi, whey protein, just 2 ounces. With her, I don't know if she's okay with kombucha or any kind of. There's so many probiotic drinks out there, but if I do get my kombucha, I actually leave it on the table for
Yeah.
half an hour so
I'll
it's
talk to
room
her about it.
temperature. Yeah, and then as the white coating reduces, and
Room
she'll
temperature.
see within a
Okay.
couple of weeks her white coating's reducing. Um, with the bitter melon juice and Karela juice and the diabetic things, I would say the sugar is showing up on her tongue. So as that becomes less, of course, more turmeric, more bitter vegetables will help as well. So definitely, it's kind of a little complicated because it's not just vata. There's a lot more stuff going on. But thank you
Right.
for it's a very interesting case study.
Thank you. Thank you for all the feedback. Excellent.
Alrighty. Okay, I think that's about it. We kind of covered a lot of stuff today. I hope everything that we did today kind of made sense. We had everybody do different type of case studies, and so I hope it all came together. Um, those who have not migrated to Block 2, we will send you out your certificates. Yeah, no, that's really so. We started talking about things that you'll be doing in Block 2, like Rasadhatu, Raktadhatu, and of course, Kimberly has Rich helping her, so she can do that. But yeah, it's just, you know, everything that you've learned till now is reflected in that. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Sunday. Bye bye.
vata has really gone up. I don't know if there is such a thing as 5. If there's not 5, she's a vata 4 at least. Um, and kapha 4. I think all of them have gone up. I think the vata has thrown sort of everything off. And the major issues she was concerned about were on the bottom of the page, her low energy and compromised immunity. Number 2, the kidney disease. Number 4, the stomach ulcers. And I sort of added on there the fibromyalgia and general aches. And I think that what is, now I can do the visual presentation. Aggravating factors are, which are very clear in terms of her lifestyle. So if you look at the front page, that's my lovely mother. She's so cute. But the aggravating factors, there she is. Isn't she cute? She's actually, just from observation, she sometimes talks a lot and sometimes not at all. And then Apana, the constipation, the dryness, the gas, she no longer has her periods. And then under subdoshas kapha, even some of these, I think she's so vata that it's sort of thrown everything off. So lack of appetite. No, it's mostly the dryness in the mouth, which is kladaka, along with avalabaka. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing these. And I'm sorry, kladaka and bodaka would be the dryness in her mouth, which she definitely has. And the avalambaka would be, I thought perhaps the issues with the heart valve replacement. She doesn't have heart congestion. She actually had to have a valve replaced. So that leads me to, under her symptoms, she has both prana and ojas, low energy, low immunity. So I think that in terms of her vikriti, her agni and vishagni, she has 1 or less BPM daily, but her appetite is irregular. She has gas, she has caution. So to me, that most reflects vata. And then as far as the subdoshas, the anemia, I thought would be Ranjaka Pitta. The kind of the hyperacidity in her stomach, which has caused irritation in this lining of her stomach, would be Pachaka. And then under the subdoshas Vata, she basically has almost every single thing here. So the low energy, the lack of clarity, the fatigue, and the prana. I think she has anxiety and a little bit of a difficulty in terms of having consistent friendships. So that reflects to me Viana. Digestive issues, she feels heavy after she eats. It seems to take a long time for her to digest food, so Samana. She has both high and low Udana. And as I said, I wouldn't normally do this, but I got permission from both my mother and my best friend to use them as my guinea pigs. So, and looking at case study number 1, that's my mom. And her Ayurvedic age is Vata. She's 64. Her VPK was Vata 2, Pitta 1, Kapha 3. And I'll get into the rest of it later. Her health background, which I think is important, is she's had 3 kidney transplants. She's had 1 heart valve replacement. She has some stomach ulcers and anemia. And she also has, which I don't have on here, is like some generalized sort of aches and pains and fibromyalgia. And she had total kidney failure at 30. So she's been on 30 plus years of immunosuppressants, steroids, and any variety of other things. And as far as her Agni goes, it is it's a little bit of Mendana, naturally a kapha, like I said, but her Vata has gone up as well as everything else. And I just thought it was kind of cute to include a picture because you can see that her features are generous, kind of glowing eyes, large lips, large nose, all of those things. In terms of the aggravating issues, she goes to bed and occasionally gets up late. So to bed at about 11, 12, up at about 9 or 10. So I don't think that she's taking advantage of just the energies of the day, that fantastic energy that takes place at 6 a.m. So she kind of wakes up and then needs immediately to drink coffee, which she then follows up with 4 black iced teas from a fast food restaurant. And it has artificial coloring and flavors and ice water that hampers her agni and causes dehydration, exacerbating her vata. And she also, in the morning, she will have a coffee, a chocolate donut,